Good afternoon, everyone from Florida. This Florida afternoon. This is a quick how-to video using Capture NXT software for Nikon photography. This is this image on my desktop is a process from Capture NXT, and I finished it off by fine-tuning the colors and creating the border with Affinity. But I'm not going to use Affinity today. I just want to do a real quick how-to using the Capture NXT, which is a seriously good program for processing raw images exclusively for Nikon. You can load JPEGs from other formats, but you will not get the array of settings as you would for the NEF format, which is the raw format for Nikon. So a real quick how-to up here in the menu. Last time I did a video on this software, I spoke about this panel right here, two panels. What you do is you go here to Window, Bird's Eye View, uncheck that, and that eliminates the upper panel, which gives you the magnification plus or minus on the image. And you go back to Windows, Folders, and that clears the whole entire panel for a greater working area. If you choose to work like this, opens a folder right here, image of this folder. You open it and you get your browse for folders, and you choose the source of your images from your lineup of your computer, my computer, data, desktop, your drives, everything, etc. Everything. So you do this. If you want this back, you go back to Windows, Folders, and you get your lineup back. And you go to Windows, Bird's Eye, and you acquire the windows for your slider to control the magnification of your image. If you choose to work with the slider for magnification, uncheck Folders, and then you can work with this window. You can work with this window. So that's how you do that. So let's get into processing an image. I'm going to get rid of this just for the video. I'm going to process an image here, and I'm going to use the tool right here, images, view images side by side, and I'm going to choose the option before and after images. And as I mentioned before, software is free. I believe it's awesome. It works great. It's a little bit slow, not as fast as anybody would want it to be, but it's well worth it in my opinion. Always look down right here at the bottom right hand corner for the working little gear that tells you when the process is over and done. And this is a little blue brown house called a house sparrow. House sparrow. And I'll do like this and go to Windows, Bird's Eye View, and pan away, and there's that image right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with a northern mockingbird. I have here a northern mockingbird, it's a pretty nice image. I like. I think it's there. It is right here. This is a northern mockingbird, and this let's do this. And this bird is actually on the intersection down the block from where I live, on a real nice bush that attracts birds every day in the afternoon, morning. So let's work with this. Let's do the side before and after view right here. View images side by side, compare before and after, and look at the gear down here. As I said, when this is over and done with, there you go. Both images are loaded and we can work with them now. So what I do in my images, the first thing that I want to do is I want to check, make sure that it is a good picture to work with, and I know this one is. I want to go to clarity to see how much clarity I can get out of this image. And right here on your right hand panel, you have your file camera information, which gives you a very large array of information from your image, your camera, the lens, so forth. This is at ISO 640 on auto, metering matrix. It's a 1 in 800 shutter speed at 5.6, and the lens that I used is I think this is the VR 70-300 4.5 5.6G, and it's at focal length 300, so that would be 450 on my crop sensor for the D500. You have all this information here. You have fine tuning here for this little tool here, which I'm not going to use. I don't need to use this tool. And this is your exposure compensation, white balance, picture control, tone, and here you have tone detail, which gives you highlight protection, shadow protection, D-lighting HS. Now all these are in Nikon camera, probably the higher end body cameras, or in the pro or semi-pro bodies, which you already have these. I have these all turned off on my camera because I want to do the final adjustments here in the image. And you have noise, reduction, you have camera and lens correction, you have, I mentioned before, master lighting, LCH, which gives you chroma, color lightness and hue, which I do use. I will not for this image, I don't need to, but I do use that often. This is straighten or auto straighten. This is density, and this is your curve, RGB, levels and curves. So what I do with this image first is I see how much detail I can pull out of this image, and this is the after and this is the before. And what I usually do is I bring it up to 90, seeing that it's a good, nice, focused, nice image. And you can see the difference right there just alone with the density. I brought it up to 90. Usually after this, my first step, if this works out and I'm satisfied with this, I go to picture control, and under picture control there are these three sliders here. Where are they? These three sliders here. Quick sharp, I don't use that. I go to the following three, which is mid-range, clarity, and sharpening. You can see right here, clarity, there's an extra notch right here that's slightly bigger than the rest of them on your scale. The software is telling you that it's at 0, but you should not go further than 50. That's pushing it to the limits where it is still acceptable. And under high range sharpening, the software is telling you that you can bring it up to 1. That's still within range without any damage to the image at all. And under sharpening, it's already set. You should not go any further than this, and I don't. That's why I use these three right here, and that's why I would use the rest here, but I never use these here. I don't need to unless I have to. You have your noise panel after here. We're working right now with density and sharpening. Once I've done that established and it looks good, and I see that the image, let me pan back, the image to me, it's a little bit too bright. Of course, this is to my liking. A lot of people will see this image and say, well, I like it brighter, I want it darker. So this is according to your liking, this is according to my liking, but one thing for sure is that the clarity in the image, it has to be there, and that it is. That's a before, and this is an after. So what I do next is I go to my curve adjustments, and you can do two things here. One, this circle, it's got like a half moon cutout. It's your auto contrast, and you're going to tell the software to fix this image according to how it looks, according to the camera settings, according to the image itself. And that does not look good at all. So you want to reset that by hitting the master reset here. Let me bring this out so everybody can see. Hit the reset all channels here, and you reset it. The next channel here is to reset the one channel that you're working with. Let's say I wanna do blue. I wanna cut back on the blue, just a hair, and then I'll go to green, and I'll cut back on the green slightly, and there's your before and after. Let's pan back. It's a bit of a difference, I can see it. Color, the bird is a little bit on the red side, so I'll go to red and I'll bring down my red, and this is just an estimated value. And here I don't use the curvature here, I'd rather use the slider here. It's a little bit too red for my taste, that's better. Now over here where it's spiking, right here in the chest, the background right here, I can do this, put it on the edge of that spectrum, the red spectrum, and bring it down and kill the redness in the background, and that brings out the bird. So let's pan back and see what that looks like. And I actually like it with a bit more red. This is a wall. This is the wall of a building right here, by the way. I actually like this. It gave the bird a little bit too much of a blue look. So this is where I use the reset current channel, and I reset just the red, and it gives me back the red as soon as the little gear finishes. There you go. Then what I'll do is I'll cut back on the red here, and I'll bring the slider over here to the right to cut back, to take some of the red out of its feathers here, whilst keeping this a bit more acceptable. Now let's just say I like this image the way it is. I got good, look at those whiskers right there. Look at those whiskers right here. Look at this detail right there. This is pretty good, and this is at magnification 100 from the actual normal default magnification of the image. So let's say I like this image, I don't want to do anything further with it. There's some grain in the background, and I haven't forgotten about the noise. We come up here to noise, which is NR, noise reduction. I like to run noise reduction at better quality 2013. You have better quality, faster, better quality 2013. That gives me more to work with on the sliders, gives me edge noise reduction. I snap that in and get a cut back a bit on what's called the edge noise reduction, and that covers the noise level on edges to smooth those edges out instead of making them pop out really rough and sharp looking, and that will hurt some images. Then I look at my background and I try to assess the noise level in the background. That looks pretty good. The eyeball's sharp, got a lot of whiskers here, a lot of detail in the feathers in the chest right here. That looks pretty good. By default, at Better Quality 2013, the software gave me 50. The software gave me 51 here on sharpness, under color intensity, color sharpness. It brought it to 51. So if I want to cut back on this noise here and make this background a bit smoother, more subtle, relaxing look, I'll bring this up to 58, and I'll bring this up to 58 here, and I wait for the results to finish, and you can see the difference in the background, and I probably would like that. I'll probably go with that. And that's my I think that would be my finished product here. Excuse me. I can go back to my curves and go to RGB, and this is what I have. This is what I've done. Now if I want to bring the brightness down on this overall, I would go to my curves first, and here, and then here I would look, and the tree line right here, pretty much I would go dead center. I'll eyeball dead center and curve down just a bit and give it a bit of a contrast to make this image pop out. Excuse me. I would see how the image popped out, and I would come in and look at it, and this is my end results from before and after. This is a northern mockingbird, and look at the detail, look at the coloring. The feathers are a bit on the reddish tone side. I would if I want to correct this, which I don't want to fight this too much, but I'll correct it, I'll go to chroma, and pan around right here and look for a point where I believe it will reduce, and we're looking about right here. You snap in there and you slightly bring it down, and there I got rid of that red tone. Right here, my level brought it to 26 on the slider. I could bring the slider over and have this affect the rest of the image, but then I lost the background that I like, so I'll bring it back to 26, or I'll leave it at 29 because I like this background and I still got rid of that red tone, and he's a little bit more grayish on the blue side, which is, I think it's the more natural color of the feather. And that's how you use the chroma. You want to reset the current channel. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to reset it right here. This is the master, reset all. This is the current. So yeah, I'm going to do the master because I did chroma. Let me check something here before I do this. Okay, master, color lightness, and hue. Everything's leveled off. So I'm just going to reset the current channel, which is excuse me, the chroma. And let's look at the color right here. Let's look at this right here, and we're going to see how this is going to change after I reset it. Let's do the reset, and there the red tint came back in right here in the facial head right here. So I'm going to do that again, because I like those results from before. I'm going to bring it down to about 30, and there it is, cleared it up again. Looks better. I like that, and we can leave that like that. Basically, to my liking, this image is complete. I don't have anything else to do with this image. If you have a secondary or third software that you want to run this image by, let's take a look at this. This is before, this is after. You see the difference? Background, feathering, detail in the eyes. Let's look at the eyeballs. Look at that. This is at 100. This is at 100% magnification. Let's do 200. That's already pixel peeping, but we can see the difference there in the detail underneath the eyes, the feathers. So let's bring it back down to 100. That's this notch here on the slider, and that's really nice, awesome image. I mean, it's very smooth here. There's a little bit of a grain here. I don't want to push it, but you know what? Let's go to noise, and let's bring the noise to okay, that cut back a bit on smoothing out right here, and I don't think it harmed the image anything, not at all. Let's take it back to 100 right there by default. So pushing the ISO worked out a bit right here, smoothed out. It's not that bad. So that's pretty good. So that's how you process an image using the Capture NXT software, raw developer exclusively for Nikon. You could load JPEGs on this from other formats, as I mentioned before, but you're not going to get the array of control of the image here. You will not do that. That will not happen. This is exclusive software for Nikon raw developing. Let's pan back before and after again before I shut this down and end this video. Let's go to view images side by side. Choose single preview. That's my single preview right there. And if I'm definitely going to trim this image, use your crop tool. Your crop window comes up over here. You can move it around to wherever you want to. You can reset crop, cancel, apply, show grid, lose the grid, free crop. I always have it on free crop. I take a look at this. I like that. I got part of the building, this branch right here, the bush. I apply it. That easy. You magnify. There's magnification right there. According to the crop, I'm at 66.67 magnification, and due to the crop, that's a really nice close-up image. Look at the whiskers here of this animal, the bird. Smoothness here, eyeball underneath its eye, really nice. Look at the feather detail right here. This is a northern mockingbird, and if you were to take it to 100 because of the crop, that's what you get. I wouldn't take it past that before you get into pixel, what people call pixel peeping. So this is a nice image right there, all in all. I saved this image to my folder under JPEG. You have 16, 8-bit TIFF. Like I said before, and I mentioned in another video, if you want to save this image and have an array of different formats, you could have a secondary or third processing software that would give you that. So sending it to my folder, start, and that's my image right there. And if I want to see that image on a secondary software or third, I'll pull it up and do it. So right now, let's see where this image is. It's right here. There's the image right there. That's your image. And the Windows viewer will give you the information on the image, which is a D500 300 millimeter using the 70 to 300 lens. That's the date, same image, and I have it saved here. And this is a, oh, shut that off. Okay, right there. And this is the image right there. That's it, 300 DPI. I saved it at 300 DPI. And if I want to save this on a different format, I'll just take it through Affinity Photo, which I have an array of different formats. I can finalize this image without touching and adjusting it, and I could save it. And I guess I'll show you that real quick. Let me load up Affinity Photo. And that's it. I'm going to end this video by showing you that you can I did this before, I'm doing it again just to show you. Software for Nikon photography, I believe this is the best. I know a lot of people pay money for, I guess what you call rental or monthly fee for these kind of software. These kind of software. I don't do that. There it is. That's our image. And if I want to, I export this, and I could save it under any of these formats that I'd like, and alter, and the image is still the same quality as it is from the Capture NXT without making any adjustments. Okay, so there it is. Quick how-to on Capture NXT. Go back to Window, Folders, move my slider up on the bird's eye view. That's my magnification right there. That's the entire image. And you go to Help, check for updates. Your window will come up, checking for updates. Message Center 2 from Nikon will tell me that there are no current updates. Message Center is also an updatable to keep up with Nikon software, which it automatically pops up on my system, and it tells me when there's an update for any one of the 4 softwares that I have for Nikon. So that's Capture NXT for Nikon RAW developing, which I think it's the best software for Nikon. Then from there, you can take it to somewhere else to do anything else that you want to. This is where I begin all my images, and I end them with another software to add borders, do the little magical things we do. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is a Muscovy duck with an Egyptian goose on the D500. Any questions, please ask. I'm going to turn this off now, make this video short.